Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Felicia Griffin-Fennell, Activity Director for our HSI STEM grant. Thank you for joining us for the final day of Massachusetts STEM Week, a week where we statewide observe STEM education for K through 12 through college. This event is being recorded, as you know, and will be loaded onto STCC's YouTube channel for future viewing. I would like to thank Professor Brian Candido for collaborating on this and other events that feature Dell Technologies, who are our speakers for today. I would also like to thank Dean Barbara Washburn, Dean for the School of STEM, for her support this week. I now ask Assistant Dean Patrick Dawes to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks everyone for turning out here for our final event for STEM Week here at STCC. I too would like to thank all those who've worked so hard to put the various events we've had, and especially our partner Dell in helping to put forward this event and to spread the word for everyone involved with some of the great job opportunities, career opportunities, and other opportunities that exist for individuals, and especially individuals of color and individual and women throughout the STEM field and the STEM disciplines, and especially around computers and computing technology, which is such an important and growing part every day of the STEM world. So thank you everyone for coming out today, and I hope everyone enjoys the various discussions that we'll be having today during this event.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that. For our final live STEM Week event, we have a panel discussion entitled Exploring Tech Careers with Dell Professionals. Our panelists today will talk about what is it like to work at Dell Technologies, a global tech company. I'm going to turn things over to Kenneth Padilla and Mariana Carvalho, members of Dell Technologies Latino Connection Employee Resource Group. Mariana and Kenneth, thank you.
Go ahead, Mariana.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you all. Welcome to our panel for the Mass STEM Week with Springfield Technical Community College. It's a pleasure. We've been developing our relationship with the community college for almost a year now. I still remember the day that we went to Springfield last November, I think, right, Felicia? And we met and we started talking how we could bring value and help and also share what we have at Dell to the students. And it's my pleasure to be here today. And we brought a very good group of professionals from Dell. Can I start sharing my screen? Let me see if I can share. Let me know when you can see it. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Awesome. So this is our panel for exploring tech careers at Dell Technologies. I'm going to start just giving a brief overview of my story, and then I'm going to pass to the other panelists. And then after 5 minutes of introduction for each one of them, we are going to go to the panel. I'm going to ask a few questions about their journeys at the university, and then transition to Dell and their technical roles today. So just to start, that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to introduce myself, Kenneth, and then Deema, Alfredo, and Gabi, and then we're going to go to our panel. The main objective of what we are here today is to connect us with the students and to present our stories, our background, and challenges that we've been facing or we've faced being a Latino or a minority in the industry. I hope you like the stories. Starting with me, I am from Brazil. I am in the States for almost 4 years now, actually 4 years and 4 months. I am a solutions engineer at Dell Technologies. I came to the States to do my master's in computer science. I also attended at a minority serving institution in Mississippi. Jackson State University is a historically Black college and university, an HBCU. I have my contacts on the screen, so if anyone wants to share, wants to connect with me, feel free to send me an email, to add me on LinkedIn. I love social media to talk about career. I'm also the co-founder of Brazilians in Tech. It's an NGO that I created with a few friends back in my country. And we also help women navigating in technical careers in Brazil. That's my passion. That's something that I do after my job at Dell after 6 p.m. And besides that, I love what I do at Dell. I help customers in the New England area where they want to buy a new cloud solution or a new infrastructure solution. I am the consultant that can help them navigating their digital transformation. And if we're going to be talking on the panel as well, if you have other questions, you can put on the chat. I'm going to be able to answer. And now I'm going to turn over to Kenneth. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariana. Good morning. My name is Kenneth Avilés Padilla. I am a senior technical marketing engineer. So I do whatever the name says. We do technical stuff for marketing and a lot of other groups. And I did study computer engineering at the University of Puerto Rico at Mayagüez. So I've been at the company for 4 years, directly from Puerto Rico to Boston to get some cold up in here, but now I escaped the coldness and now I'm back in tropical weather in Miami, fully remote with this whole COVID thing. So I did a couple, before joining Dell, I did a couple of co-ops. So essentially like either like a summer internship kind of, right? Of just a 6-month kind of internship with GE, with a train company in Georgia, and then an internship at Duke. And then for hobbies, I do some graphic designing sometimes, or as the professor procrastinator, yeah, sure. And there are the contacts also from my end. Don't hesitate to add me on my LinkedIn, because I did give a workshop. So it's cool to see some of the participants are the ones that also joined the workshop. So if anything, you should take a look at my LinkedIn. I actually applied whatever I told you guys and girls and whatnot, and actually fix it. So yeah, up to the next one, Deema.
Thank you, Kenneth. And it is important to mention too, speaking of LinkedIn, Kenneth gave a LinkedIn workshop to Stick, probably in May, back in May, yes. Yeah. You probably have this recorded as well. Thank you, Kenneth. Deema.
Excellent. Thank you, Kenneth and Mariana. Good morning, everyone. We're still around morning time. So I'm part with Kenneth in the same team. So I'm a technical marketing engineering too. I joined Dell a year before Kenneth joined. So I've been now for 5 years at Dell. I actually started as an EMCer, and then with the acquisition, we became as a one family under Dell. So I have a bachelor degree in computer science from Wentworth Institute of Technology. So it's kind of like the same maybe experience everybody who's joining here. It's a diversity school, a lot of people from different area, different ethnicity. And then actually after I finished my bachelor, I went and pursued my master degree as well. I was fortunate to get a full scholarship from the Saudi government. If you just wonder where my accent's from, I'm actually from Saudi Arabia. And so I pursue my master degree as well in computer science. Things I like to do, I love doing salsa dancing. Unfortunately, with the COVID, I paused for a while right now. I love to do also biking. Since I live in Back Bay area in Boston, it's beautiful to take your bike and go around. I love French food. I believe that's how I ended up with my fiance. He's from France. So please, if you have any questions for me, you want to connect, this is my email here and my LinkedIn as well. I'm always love to share my experience to help, young professional. So please don't hesitate. Thank you.
Thank you, Deema. Alfredo.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, sorry about that. My computer just had a hiccup and everything went black. So you saw me doing. So I'm Alfredo Cox Vega. Like Kenneth, I am a computer engineer that graduated from University of Puerto Rico at Mayagüez. I've been in Dell for 5 years right now. I am currently a software engineer in the mid-range solutions area, where we focus on testing and development for mid-range level products. As a part of my previous experience, I also have a co-op experience in a business intelligence agency called Abarca Health, where they manage healthcare facilities. I also was an intern here at EMC before turning to Dell as part of the ITLP leadership program, which is the IT leadership program. And when I started in Dell Technologies, I was also assigned quality testing engineer. Part of my hobbies are ballroom dancing, which I was introduced by actually Gabriela here present. I love knowledge sharing is one of my passions, and it's one of the things that we're taught very early on in our college careers. It's what actually promotes you to be better and actually do a lot better while you go through your studies. And I am one of the persons that believe that Mofongo solves world problems. So if you'd never had Mofongo in your life, you should actually have Mofongo. It will make your day a lot happy. And if you see me a little bit like whispering, it's because my son is 1 year old and he's currently sleeping in the living room. So I'm just taking a look. As everybody else, below is my LinkedIn profile. If you want to connect, answer any questions, I'll answer any questions that you have. I'll help out in any way or in any way that you guys have. So I also like, as Kenneth, doing LinkedIn profiles and resume workshops. So I'm here to help you guys out.
Thank you, Alfredo. And we are gonna make sure not gonna be yelling. He's not gonna wake up, I promise.
Don't worry.
Thank you. Gabi?
Hi, everyone. My name is Gabriela Bello. I am currently, I'm actually now Partner Success Project Manager. Right after I created the slide, I got moved to a new team. So I'm making very stressed, but learning that process slightly different from what I was doing before, large accounts. So as a Customer Success Project Manager, or now a Partner Success Project Manager, I work with Global Alliance partners. I cover Latin America. So I have been with Dell 6 years total, started out as a contractor with RSA, and then became a full-time employee of EMC, which was acquired by Dell, and we are now Dell Technologies. I studied political science, policy studies, and French studies at Rice University. So you're probably wondering, what are you doing at a tech company? So my passion is language, but I have always worked in IT adjacent jobs, and I've been able to marry language and technology in my career day to day. My hobbies are dancing, reading, and sewing. So you'll often see me doing some form of dance, especially if the food's very good. I have my little happy food dance. And I'm often reading, and I have been sewing a lot lately, making cloth masks due to the pandemic. I do speak 5 languages and trying to learn more when I can get the time. You can also connect with me with LinkedIn. I would love to talk to you about whatever you're interested in.
Thank you, Gabi. And she does speak, and very well, by the way. Thank you, Gabi. So we are now gonna go to the panel. I think I'm gonna stop sharing so everyone can see our faces like side by side. Is that okay? I think it's gonna be best. But we're gonna go to the panel now. Thank you so much for everyone that shared your introduction, where you're from, what you studied. And now I want to address the first 2 questions to Kenneth and Deema, and you can answer each one who prefers to answer first. My first question on career is what it has been to be a minority / Latino in technology. What is one major challenge and what is a major benefit? Because I know there are many. Kenneth, you want to start?
Sure, I can start. So that's a good question. One thing that if I get a similar question is, how many Puerto Ricans are in my building in Hopkins? Only two, Alfredo and me. Even though there's so many Puerto Ricans outside the walls, right? So that's one thing. We do have a different relationship, I guess, because we do come from the same school also. But one challenge might be just that sometimes people think I might be mad when I'm not mad. I'm just like, ¿Qué es lo que pasa? So I'm really expressive with my actions. Gabby is Dominican, so definitely she can say, sí, y qué pasó. So that's one thing. It's just different background. Such a big company, we all have different backgrounds. So there's definitely, you have to work with a lot of people. Like I work with people from India, from EMEA, Europe, I mean, people from Korea. They're like, come on, do it now and whatnot. Because on my day job, we are the ones that kind of are the bridge from customers and engineering in a sense. So we test the features that are going to go out. Think of it, a new iPhone. We're the ones that test it before it goes out and it gets announced. But one of the benefits of being Latino is I do speak Spanish. So sometimes when we were traveling, they'll be like, Kenneth, we need to go to Mexico. Oh, do you want to come with us? I'm like, well, let's go. So you do get that benefit of being the tour guide for all the VPs and directors. They're like, where do we go? What do we order? So that's one benefit there that you get to travel based on that. Deema?
Yeah, I think me and Kenneth, we have a similar experience in the team, except maybe I face it a little bit more since I'm the only female actually in my team. Everybody else is guys, and sometimes it could be fun, sometimes it could be challenging. But I always tell Kenneth, it's usually sometimes hard to relate. As I mentioned, I came from a Middle Eastern background. And it's very different, even though I was able to adapt here very quickly, trying to use the same slang sometimes with the guys, so I can't connect with them. But what I find it a little bit challenging is, as a female minority, is sometimes dealing with a lot of males in the same group is more you have you don't get a lot of feedback as maybe if it is, another male. They always caution and very, very careful to deal with you. But sometimes you just need to step up extra in order to get the same feedback. I think it's just a matter of a learning curve with the team. In terms of benefits, I always say I have to do less marketing about myself because I'm very unique. I'm proud of my accent. I'm proud of my color, who I am. So I'm very standing out without even doing a lot of efforts. So there is absolutely, a positive side about, being a minority, being, from different race and everything.
I totally agree. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you, Deema. I totally agree because we need to use our differences as our uniquenesses, right? So let's embrace and let's own our culture and our race and the color of our skin. So thank you for sharing, because not everyone is comfortable in that environment, especially us being women in that male-dominated field that we know, right? And I know that through Dell and our actions through Latino Connection and being talking with universities, we can make a lot of impact as well. And I would ask now if I know Gabi and Alfredo, they are the leaders here in Massachusetts for Latino Connection. I would ask you to share something that you guys were able to have an impact on diversity, and the community through your role at Dell Technologies. And if you can share a specific example, I know that your role at Latino Connection makes a lot of impact, same for Kenneth, same for Deema, but is there anything else through your role that you see the impact? And if you can share one example.
So I'll go ahead and go first, but Latino Connection, we do have 6 pillars that we try to focus on just to have an impact within Dell Technologies, but also in our communities. So we focus on recruiting, career, commerce, community, culture, and membership. And the idea is that we want to make an inclusive culture within Dell Technologies. And so a lot of those pillars, they work with one another to get those initiatives across. But that means making sure that Latino employees feel welcome, have an opportunity to grow, and can see themselves in higher positions. And then we also want to make sure that we're recruiting the best talent. So Kenneth mentioned earlier, there's 2 Puerto Ricans in his building. There's so many Latinos and Puerto Ricans in Massachusetts. So we want to make sure we're attracting that talent. And then we want to make sure that we're retaining that talent. So a lot of our initiatives are focused there. We have one program within as well, because Dell is a company and they want to make money. So we work with this program called EBC en Español. EBCs are Executive Briefing Center, is how we attract companies to purchase our products, and we show our whole portfolio. Well, we obviously have companies in Latin America whose primary language is Spanish or Portuguese. So we have people from Latino Connection trained to give those presentations in those languages, makes the client feel more comfortable, and provides a growth opportunity for the employee who's giving the presentation. They get to learn about the whole company, they get to meet executives they wouldn't have met otherwise, and they get to do something different than their normal roles. And then we also, the community piece, we partner with El Mundo, the Spanish language newspaper in Massachusetts, a lot, and we try to help with events there. One of my favorite events was obviously before the pandemic, was Latino Youth Recognition Day. And we were able to, so they partner with the Red Sox, they bring middle schoolers to the Red Sox stadium. They have the students spend the whole day with the Red Sox and the family members, and they get awarded for their scholarly abilities, their scholastic abilities. And it was so cool to see these kids feeling proud of what they're doing in school, which is not always what you get, and what they're doing in STEM. And then being able to, as Dell Technologies, say, hey, because of what you're doing, I'm here, and maybe you can be here like I am in the future. We've partnered with Latino STEM Alliance. We try to hit a lot of different things. Obviously, we're trying to be very careful in that we're not spreading ourselves too thin, but we are working hard to make sure people are aware of what Dell Technologies is doing inside and outside to make it a more diverse and equitable place.
Thank you, Gabby. Definitely working internally and externally with external partners and developing our talents is the main goal, not only of Dell, right, but Latino Connection in general. Alfredo?
So if we follow up on Gabriela's segue and a little bit more of structure, there's not only the big organizations, there's also the tiny efforts that we do. There have been multiple opportunities that we have had to do resume critiques and mock interviews that we have with different students. For example, I had a while back ago, 2-3 students in college that reach out to Latino Connection and say, hey, we would like to get an internship. We would like to know how that goes. And I took it a step further. So I saw their resumes, I critiqued their resumes, I helped them make it better. And I explained it to them. This is what I learned when I was in college. And this is why this worked for me. And I explained to them all the types of hardships that I felt when I was in college. And they understood all that because they could relate, even though Kenneth and myself, we don't necessarily came study here in the continental state. We do find some of the hardships in the island. And part of that process is not only limited to university students, we also have the opportunity of reaching out to high school and middle school students to come to our facilities and be able to see what Dell Technologies does. So part of being exposed to the community that way, I think it sends a good message And not only that, it shows value to the kids, watching somebody like them be in a position that maybe they never thought they could achieve. So I think that's the best thing I've seen so far. And there's multiple others, right? It's not, but the one that came to mind right now, I think that's one of the best things I felt giving back to the community that has helped me and be, you say it, I had it on the tip of my tongue. As part of Latino Connection, it helped the community come together and show.
That's good. Yeah. Thank you. And that's what we were expecting, right? Brian and Felicia can quote me on that, because we promised to bring the students to Dell in May, but then you know what happened. We were planning to bring all the students. So hopefully everyone that is watching us, hopefully 2021 or 2022, right? We're going to be able to welcome you guys in our facility in Franklin, Hoxton. So you could see the manufacturer there. So I really, like, this is in our plan, because this exposure to the technology, how the hardware is being built, and just to be inside the office is very, very, very amazing. And I saw one question on the chat from Johnny, and that goes very well with my follow-up question here about our technical and soft skills that we can build through college and how we can apply this in our job today. I think his question was around, I'm gonna read what he put here, right? I noticed that many of the panelists have college degrees. Is a college level degree necessary to get a job in the computer technology industry? He's studying a CIT certification and network certification as well as AWS Solutions Architect. I think I can answer a little on that. And what I've been seeing as well from Dell Technologies as a whole, definitely they start seeing not only to regular degrees as bachelor's and master's degree, but this year, especially this year, it is a strategy mindset at Dell that community colleges and other types of degrees are also being viewed as a very good standard for students to apply for our positions. We also launched this year one specific hiring process for minorities. I don't know, Johnny, if you are a minority, but reach out to us after the panel as well, because we have a specific focused hiring process for that through the employee resources groups that we can help build the pipeline with diverse and talents. So that's one thing, right? My role is very specific on the solutions architect that you mentioned there. Definitely investing in certifications is going to help you getting a job. Dell, we are a hardware company, right? Like a device company. So at least in my position now, there's a big push from my manager to get certifications in different cloud providers. That's something that I'm working on as well in Microsoft Azure. So I would say do it, because you are going to be differentiated when you're applying to a job. And not necessarily just having a master's degree or a bachelor's degree is going to open doors. I think the industry as a whole is changing the way that they see the professionals. Now we know that our skills, you can start programming when you are 13, 14 years old. So it's a totally different industry now. And I see that Dell, at least I see on my leadership and my managers, they want to know you as a whole. Your soft skills, your technical skills, what you know and how you deliver. And if you have the passion for technology, there is a company for you. I'm not going to be bragging here anything, but one of the things that I like the most is that if you're really passionate about technology, you can put this into action working for a company like Dell. And I want to open to the other panelists. What is your opinion on this education and also certifications? How was some skills that you developed while in school and that you're applying now, and an advice that you can give to the students that are in this process? Anyone
So I just wanted to add a little bit to what Mariana was saying as well. Dell, as a rule, is starting to look more at community colleges and at different degrees. We know as a company that there is going to be a shortage of people trained to work at our company for the amount of jobs that we need to fill to be successful. And we know that we need to have, in particular, more minorities to be a diverse and inclusive company to bring different perspectives to the company. We know this, so while there might have been, in general, in the IT world, an emphasis on bachelor degrees, we recognize that you don't necessarily need a bachelor degree to be good at your job, to have experience, to have knowledge, to have passion, like Mariana said. So that's changing, and Dell is already looking at how to change that. And there's different companies who are already changing that as well. So in general, the answer is no, you do not need a bachelor's degree. Some companies might still require it, but I don't think that's going to be a hard rule for much longer. In terms of skills that I've developed, my skills focus again is languages. That's my passion. I'm lucky that I'm able to marry my passion with what I do on a day-to-day basis. But I have to focus in my role on a lot of soft skills: conflict resolution, conflict management, communication. I'm a project manager, so I work with a lot of different teams. I have to be a quick study. I have to understand what processes they're implementing and why, so that I can explain to the client or to another team what's going wrong, whether it's in a tool or whether it's in just the communication between two people. So I have to marry enough technical knowledge of different tools. And it's not that I have to know all the ins and outs. I don't necessarily program on a day-to-day basis, but I have to understand enough of it to understand why this tool is breaking down and why that's causing any other process to break down while these teams communicate with one another.
So I guess I'll take next. I want to answer multiple questions. So first of all, yes, we're planning on seeing if we can create a virtual tour of the facilities for people that are interested in it, and showing it to kids and things like that. Now, towards that question, following Gabriela's segue, there's a lot of things that a college degree teaches you. One of the things is how to deal with your daily life. How are you going to manage your day-to-day, including your work, maybe your kids, when you have kids, your wife, and everything else. There's a lot of things that encompass having a degree. You do not need a degree to be able to be successful or apply to Dell. What you don't know, you will learn. And even if you have a degree, once you start, you will not know anything about your role. So practically, there's a focus on what are you going to learn and how well can you adapt to it. So that's the real thing that managers and people that hire you are looking for. How well can you adapt? Are you a good fit for us? And can you work as a team? And once you get that, and they understand that you have the ability to do that, you will have no problem in your day-to-day career. So it all blends into that. And I wanted to answer one more question before I left it. I think it was, so support for employers in advancing the students and degrees. So Dell currently has the ability of helping you financially with your degrees. If you want to pursue a master's or something in relation to anything, Dell will pay for it. Even if it's a training, if it's a master's degree, a doctorate degree, they will pay for it as long as you qualify with their curriculum. So yeah, you could definitely get paid for that. Mariana, you can take it away.
So I want to add one more thing. It's going to be very quick, so I can give a little bit of time for Kenneth, maybe if he has something extra. So in regards of degrees, it's definitely nothing in IT is usually, it's not always the case. You need to have a bachelor or master degree, as Gabby and Mariana said. I want to give an experience myself I faced when I joined Dell or EMC. My background, it was completely like something to do with databases. So my thesis was about database optimization and all that. But when I joined EMC, I started everything from scratch, which is I had to study storage. So I had no background, nothing. I was so lost at the first few months. But then Dell invested a lot of time for me to go for training, to to use all the resources there. So you might study something and then you might switch your focus. So don't really focus on the degrees. And as a soft skill, always try to network with other people, because that's what sometimes bring you the best opportunity in your life. Pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. I would, if anything, reiterate networking and being active at student organizations. So if you have student organizations that you can participate on, always just be you don't have to be a leader. You just have to be a participant, an active member. Because us internally, we are talking about Latino connection. When you are like, what, huh, what? It's just a group of people that work together for a common goal, just to maintain our sanity. It's like when you want to vent to somebody, you're like, kick. You cannot go to your manager and be like, blah, blah, blah. You're like, let's go to an ERG and have that safe space, right? So that's one thing that we're fostering as part of a company, is just to have a safe space. We are all coming from a different um, background, different ideas. It's just we are all different, but we have to work together for all the goals that we have. Not only diversity, sure, diversity is important, but mainly because it brings the money. So it's like work together in order to have a successful company, right?
Thank you, Ken. I know we have just 15 minutes. I know you are putting questions on the chat as well, but I want to do one more question about career, just an advice. Each one of you, very quick, just one phrase. What is one advice? Maybe an advice that someone else gave to you in the past, or one advice that you can leave the students with. And I start. A few years ago, when I just came to the States, one VP for HR, he was presenting, and I loved his advice that he said, your career is like a GPS. It's pointless if you don't set up a destination, even if that destination is like very medium or short term, but make sure that you have a goal. If you have a goal and you put your plan into action, you are going to get anything we want. So I think that was a good advice that I received a few years ago, and I still believe in that. And Deema?
Yes, totally agree, Mariana. And I would also say, adding to that, focus on your strength. Seriously, don't look to what you lack of, because sometimes that make you feel down, or you compare yourself. Focus on your strength, develop more of that, and then improve the thing that you lack of. That's all what I have learned. I lack of some skills that Kenneth has, but I try to learn from him. But and then I also focus more in my strengths, what I'm able to do better.
Thank you. Kenneth?
I would say if you're spending more than 30 minutes on something, stop, ask questions. So for me, just like Deema, we come in and they throw you to the fire and you're like, what the hell? I don't know this. I thought it was technical, but it appears that I'm not. Because it's fine. There's a lot of concepts that we learn once you are in a company. So it doesn't matter if it's Dell, if it's whatever company, Google, Facebook, or whatever company, it doesn't really matter. It's like, if you're having, like, don't never hesitate to reach out to somebody that has been on your role for longer, because that way you're more productive and efficient. And they will never be like, look at this guy, doesn't know anything. It's like, no, I did my research. Sure, do your research first, but then also ask questions without hesitation.
Thank you. Gabby?
I kind of want to add to what both Deema and Kenneth said, because it's so important that your strengths are really what you want to present those as much as possible. But you might not necessarily realize that you have strengths that other people are seeing. So when somebody tells you, hey, you're actually very good at this, one, believe them, think about it, and then build off of that. In my case, like I said, I studied political science and languages. I didn't think I was going to be working at an IT company, but all my jobs while I was in high school, while I was in college, had this IT adjacent perspective. My father used to work for HP, so I'd always grown up around computers. And when I was hired to work at RSA, the recruiter saw that I did have this technical capability for IT work. And I've been able to, again, marry my interest and that skill set and have a job that for the most part, I'm very happy with. You know, I might some days think I should just be doing languages, but no, I am happy with my role today. And I get to bring a different perspective because of that. So everything you're doing, look at it and say, hey, what skill is this teaching me? What skill can I pull out of this and can I build off of?
Awesome, thank you. Alfredo?
It's kind of funny because it doesn't matter how long you have experienced those kind of advice. They're always sometimes hard to remember. For me, it's a little bit more adding to Deema's and Kenneth's advice. Having an expanded culture of different backgrounds, not only different backgrounds, but different bring-ups. So everybody was brought up differently. Puts a different perspective in mind. And my advice is try to learn as much as you can from others and don't be afraid of sharing your knowledge with somebody else. You might not know it, but I know Kenneth knows this as well as me. The reason why I graduated from my school being the hardest and most toughest university in Puerto Rico was because I was able to share my knowledge and other people could share their knowledge with me. So it's not if you're smart or not, or if somebody's smarter than you or not. It's how can you adapt to it? How can you learn from others? And how can you teach others the same things that you do to reinforce what you know? You will not know it all. You will never know it all, but you will have people that will help you know and understand what you're lacking. So share your knowledge, be more time with somebody else that actually knows what they're talking about too, so that you can compare those and grow as a professional.
And ask for feedback, right? That's something that I've been learning the past few months. Always ask for feedback. I think Deema mentioned in the beginning, that being a minority, sometimes I feel when I'm talking to my manager and I had to teach my manager how to give feedback to me. I'm like, you can say what is on your mind. I'm not going to be sad or anything. Maybe I think there's also a culture, right? My managers is male. I think I've been having male managers for the past 4 years that I'm here in the States. So sometimes I think it's tough for them to give us feedback. And I try to have this open conversation all the time. Just say what you want to say and let's discuss. Having a very open line for feedback is going to help you. Even though you are still in college, just ask for feedback to your peers, to your colleagues, to your advisor, to your teachers, because ask like live feedback after you do a presentation. Okay, what can I improve? What can I do better? Because you're always going to be iterating and get better. I put some links on the chat as well, and I also see that Gabi put another one for diversity. Take a look. If you have other questions on links we're going to be able to provide afterwards, you have all our contacts. And I have a few more questions that I want everyone to put on the chat too, to finish our panel. I'm gonna go around everyone here, even Felicia, Keith, Brian, Patrick, John, if you want to answer that as well. Quickly to, what is your current Netflix show, your favorite Netflix show? Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever you're watching, Hulu. Who wants to start? And the people and the students, please put on the chat.
I'll start. My show and my current book right now that I am loving and craving is Lovecraft Country.
Okay, where's that broadcasting?
HBO.
Okay, noted. Next.
I'll go next. I liked American Horror Story, so I'm watching 1984, but I also like Orphan Black, which is very good.
Orphan Black. Yes. Okay, I've heard about it. Okay, awesome. Next. Love that.
I've been watching Lucifer. I'm waiting for the final half of the season to come on because it ended on a cliffhanger and I can't handle it. Otherwise, I tend to watch Spanish soap operas or any country soap operas because I'm very dramatic. I'm a field actress at heart.
You do. Okay. I see some other shows here. I love it. Marvel, Blacklist. I love Blacklist. Who's next?
I'll go next. I love Prodigal Son. I think it was in Fox. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Queen of the South. I love Queen of the the South. Deema?
All right. I don't have really special ones, but I love watching Emily in Paris. I know it's so cliche, but it is a
It's
funny
cute.
one. But I love to watch other stuff too, like Dexter and all those old shows. But yeah.
I love all the memes from Emily in Paris being like, this isn't the real Parisian experience,
I
guys.
love it too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. John?
The Chef Show with John Favreau.
The
Me and my
chef show,
wife.
yeah,
Yeah, we watch cooking shows.
I love it.
I mean, in that also, I have like the greatest bake off, and then Taco Chronicles. It's pretty badass to see, like, so yeah.
Money Heist. Someone said, I love Money Heist. It's in Spanish, actually, right? It's from Spain. I love it. Keith, I think Keith didn't say.
I echo Felicia. Lovecraft Country is an amazing show. And otherwise, I'm just getting my dork on with the summer and fall full of new Star Trek.
I'm a huge fantasy and sci-fi person, so I'm like co-signing on everything you all are saying.
I'm almost finishing Dear White People. I started watching. It's very, very interesting. And I'm watching Grey's Anatomy now for like social pressure. Everyone was telling me you need to watch Grey's Anatomy. I was like, okay, why not? There's like 20 seasons. One day I'm gonna watch it.
My mom's a pediatrician and I could never watch the show. I'm like, that's not real medicine. So
I don't know anything about it. Yes. Thank you for everyone that put on the Gold GS. Nice, Narcos. I love The Office too. Awesome. Another question now to finish our panel. This was very, very exciting. One thing that we're gonna be doing as soon as COVID is over. What I'm gonna be doing is hopefully getting everyone from STIC to our facility in Houston and Franklin, because that's something we're expecting to do when I miss the office. Who wants to start?
look, my parents spent half the year in Dominican Republic, and I was supposed to go to DR for my birthday. That didn't happen, and my mom just spent the whole time sending me pictures of the beach. So this is very cliche, but that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm going to the beach by their apartment, and I'm just gonna lay there for hours.
No screen time, right, Gabby?
No. Well, probably. I wish I could not have screen time, but
yeah,
I'll try.
I'm going to.
Real beach, yeah, real beach. I'm probably gonna follow Gabi on something like that. So I want to introduce my son to the rest of my family. So I'm probably gonna travel to Puerto Rico.
Awesome. Yeah.
I think I'm going to go on my honeymoon to Portugal or Brazil.
Awesome.
Ah, working by Portuguese.
Of course. If you need it, anything, let me know. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's kind of,
You're gonna get there. Bom,
Yes.
muito bom.
I've been to Portugal, but not Brazil. We'll get there.
That's a good honeymoon destination. Yeah.
In January too, right?
Next, I saw play basketball here, Jordan. I love it. Portugal. We have another Portugal, Brian, Joseph. Okay. Diaz, yeah. Felicia?
That's why I've been quiet, because I don't even know. I'm just looking forward to just feeling some level of normal again.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. No mask, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Alaska, go on a cruise. I
Get on a
love
plane,
everyone wants to travel.
Yeah,
What if-
we go to Puerto Rico or Jamaica a lot of time in the winter, so we're gonna miss that this year.
I would say the first thing is I love to gather people at the house and have a big group like a Christmas party or Thanksgiving gathering. I really miss that. Of course, like traveling to see my family since they are on the other side of the world. But definitely I miss the big gathering for sure.
And going to a theater also, something like that. Just
True.
something random like that.
I miss going
Everyone
to see ballet
travel.
performances.
Yeah.
Luckily we got Instagram, so that's where I'm getting my fix right now.
Yeah, I miss real life, right? Like everything is virtual. Like, yeah, Some people here, Universal Studios, I love it. Yeah, I think Disney is already open, right? But not safe to go now. Traveling, I think traveling, everyone has this sensation and this feeling to just go outside and see other people and experience other things. One thing that I really miss is museums. You know, when you go to the museum, a lot of people together and you can just there stare and just, it's just a fresh environment, right?
I saw someone comment that they might continue wearing their mask. And honestly, I'm kind of feeling the same way. The germaphobe in me has been like, oh, you're not breathing on me? I love this. So I've made so many. I match my outfit. If I'm wearing pink, I got my pink mask. And so
you can do you can make your outfit match, right? I love it. Yeah. And people are here wants to do some hackathon as well. I love it. So I think we just have 3 more minutes. I want to thank you all so much. Thank you, the panelists. Thank you, all the staff from STIC. Thank you, Felicia and Brian. We've been talking about this session for a long time. It was super exciting to do it. I love the interaction of everyone. I know we are finishing the STEM Mass Week. At least I'm finishing a very, very good mood for a Friday. I know this week because the weather was a little, today's sunny. We are here talking. I'm super, super happy to start middle of my Friday. And I would leave for Keith, for John or Brian or you, Felicia, to say some final remarks. We are very, very grateful for this partnership. All the students, please talk to us, send resumes. We will be super happy to advise and guide you through coming to Dell Technologies. Is a company that I'm very proud to be part of, and we are here to help. Thank you so much.
And if we don't have the answer, we probably know somebody who does. So
always.
Yeah. I'll share, so students didn't hear this when I mentioned it at the top of the Zoom. I am an alum of EMC. I worked there for a couple of years and I had a great experience. So I imagine that is still largely in effect with the Dell Tech folks. Really great environment, and they let you really grow and find things that you're passionate about. There's lots of room for that at the company. So they don't, if there are managers inside the company who aren't supportive of that, they don't last long. So, just know that there's a pretty inclusive and welcoming culture there.
One thing I like to add too is I may not have worked for Dell or EMC, but I've been using Dell equipment since I started in the career in the early 90s. And that's all I've ever used.
That's good. Yeah, that's good to hear too.
Longer than some of my students have been alive.
Big plug from Brian.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say to Mariana, Kenneth, Deema, Gabriela, and Alfredo, thank you so much for sharing with us today. Talking about how we need to navigate all of our differences, whatever kind of differences we bring to the table, understanding how we need to develop those soft skills on top of those technical skills that our students and others have demonstrated that they have. They're all essential for every single one of us working in this global community now, because the world is a lot smaller, than it used to be for each and every one of us. So it's important for us to understand, how do we navigate and be successful? So thank you for giving us those tidbits on your experiences. On behalf of STCC and the Springfield community, I'd like to thank our panelists. I'd like to thank all of you, the audience, for being with us for our last live event for Massachusetts STEM Week at STIC. Before y'all log, and I'm gonna send it out to you via email anyway, please complete our survey. We dropped it in the chat. Thank y'all and enjoy the rest of your day.
Springfield Technical Community College, STCC.